There it is. Once again. Check it out. Loving it. Alright, so we are at the Imperial Activity Center. Trailhead of the Montour Trail. We are walking towards the trail. We're walking up this little ramp. Giving you the step-by-step, play-by-play. We are on the trail. Now, let's go left. So, today is Friday, June 20th, 2025. I'm at Imperial and I'm heading towards the Enlow tunnel. So I parked at this trailhead twice this year so far before. Once I went left, once I went right. Today I'm going left. This is the third time here this year. Let's take a look at that. I like coming here. Eden Gardens comes kind of never mind. Yeah. Huh. So now, we just came off of some, it's a repeat broken record. We just came off of some rain. We've had some rain and rain and rain ever since April, basically. But anyway, we came off of some nasty wet weather for weeks. Now, starting now, or maybe Saturday or Sunday, we're going into a heat wave. They said the official terminology for a heat wave in Pittsburgh, I don't know about anywhere else, but is at least 3 consecutive days where the high is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or above, and the lows do not go below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We are in for that. And it's going to be more than 3 days. I think it's going to be around 5 days of that, maybe. We'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. Yeah. The famous saying, we'll see what happens. This is pretty nice here. And this reminds me of right here where all these houses are in this little roadway over here. It kind of reminds me of that up near in Cecil Township near Ridgeway. You cross that Ridgeway. Was that Ridgeway or Ridgewood? Ridgewood, I think. Anyway, you cross that and you you walk along that little roadway for a little bit. It sort of reminds me of that. Just a little bit. I feel like I'm out of shape again. This is what happens. You get on a roll, you know. You're going out every day maybe, walking in the outdoors. Then all of a sudden you get this weather, derails everything. You can go indoors, but I mean, it's not the same thing. So let's see, the last time I was on a trail was last Friday, the 13th, when I got my vehicle back. What cracks me up is I returned that rental, and like you can do, you drop it off at the repair shop because the rental guys come and get it. That was the 13th, that was Friday. I just get a call this morning, the 20th. It's like a whole week later. Like, oh yes, sir, we got your car. You know, we got it last Friday. I'm like, oh okay. So you're just calling me now? Yeah. Just like finalizing the deal. You know, saying okay, this is how much you're gonna owe and all that crap. They are always behind at Enterprise Place. I'm not complaining. Now this is a real spooky section right here where we've got trees coming over and covering the trail. Look back that way, it looks good. This way it looks good. Now this is damp, and I figured it would be, because we had a lot of rain. I mean serious rain. And this section stays damp because of the shade. All that water down in there. Good thing they kind of built this trail up a little bit last year. They put that new surface on it. Refreshed it. So think about it, this is only, for this particular section of the trail right here, this is only the third time I've been on it since last November. So, yeah, I was on here last November, election day of 2024. Then I was on it again in March of this year, 2025, and now I'm here again. Boy, that water is flowing in this this little gully right here. It's almost like a little creek or something. You can see the water running. So yeah, that the second time I parked at that activity center this year, I went towards Santiago. Then there was another time, I think it was back in May, where I parked up at Boggs and went down towards Santiago. Covered all those places. Also went down the other direction another time to towards Quicksilver. From Boggs, from Boggs. I think this is going to be about the best day in between, the transition between all that crazy ass rain and cool weather to like this real super hot, dry thing coming up. They said today is like one of the best days. Low humidity, even though it's going to be in the 80s. Low humidity, that's what really counts. There's that little turnaround place. So getting reacquainted with my vehicle. And then again, I love it. But I'm also still thinking about getting something else. Back to the way I was before all this hail damage and everything. I'm not in any hurry. Here's one of those metal posts. The old railroad mile marker. There's no number visible there. It's all worn off. Guy riding around without holding the handlebars. That's crazy.
Where's that at? Oh, really?
Huh. There's mile marker 8. We already passed 8.5 back a half a mile ago. See how that works? Well, summer starts tomorrow. Crazy, ain't it? Regarding vehicles, I'm kind of like going around in circles with that. Something I started looking at back in March. I kind of dismissed and moved on, and then now I'm kind of circling back to the same type of vehicles. I'm confused. Basically, there's nothing that I don't think there's anything out there that can match what I already have. For the size I like, the power it has, the V6. Not too many 6 cylinders anymore. And, or you can find some, but they're, like the turbo and shit. It's okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. All I know is a good thing I didn't buy one back in March. Because then we got that hail damage. And I would have been miserable with a brand new vehicle that had hail damage. Here's those girders I like. The old-timey girders. Cool. Let's check out this sign real quick. Township of Philly, free concerts Thursdays. Yeah. So we're coming up on that intersection that's real crazy. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever. It's got a lot of roads coming into it. I never liked this intersection. Going all the way back to the 70s, I never liked this intersection. Alright, we got a clear shot. Spent a lot of time up there, West Allegheny Road. Used to go to school up there. West Allegheny High. And they cut all this brush down. There's some more of those girders. Here's that library thing. Community Library. Western Allegheny Community Library. Mm-hmm. It's a nice place right there. Wonder how they like having the trail parking right in front of their home. Hi. I know I wouldn't like it. Ridge Park. Alright, here's a couple signs. McLaren Road, 7.6. Alright, and then here, McLaren Road. There's a map on the other side. No, there's not. Yeah, there's a little map down there. Cool. Yeah, I'm sweating now. Even though it's low humidity, still can't help that. Now here's a little paved section. I like this. It's paved all the way down to the tunnel, which is good. Keeps it interesting. Can't wait to get to the tunnel, get cooled off a little bit now. Yeah, that time that I was here in March, there was some kind of an accident or whatever on the road up ahead. Numerous emergency vehicles, fire trucks, police, etc. And then a cop came onto this trail right here, back there at the McLaren section trailhead, and he came driving down through the tunnel. Got that on, captured that on video. That was interesting. See, this section, like I always say, reminds me of down there at Piney Fork. That Piney Fork Road's not as close as this one is to here. Here's one of those mile markers from the old railroad. That one says mile, let's say 38 or 33? 38. Whatever. It don't matter. I have to start wiping up all this sweat now. Whew. Yeah, see, like the tree growth and this little bush growth, very similar in the trail setup to down there at Piney Fork when you're approaching that water treatment plant that would be like on the right. South Park, Bethel Park, water sewage thing. But then, like over on the left, that doesn't look anything like that. You know, Piney Fork kind of, there's like a lot of grass in between the trail and Piney Fork. Crazy comparisons. Everything can remind you of everything else if you think about it. Like, okay, that leaf on that one tree down there reminds me of one I saw on a tree somewhere else. Like the other day, for example, I went up to look at one of those equinoxes that I saw online. And like it had everything I would want on it. The options, the color, everything was pretty much the way I would want it. And I studied it. I drove up there and looked at it. And then I go, oh man, I don't know. I was liking these for a while. And then I'm like, I had just gotten my car back. And I was like sitting there looking at mine and looking at that. I'm like, there's no comparison, man. Mine's so great. So I kind of went, I don't think I want this. I mean, it might look good and everything, but that engine's crap. Mine is beautiful, wonderful. I don't think it's old now. That's what I mean, man. It's so confusing. It's like you're never going to get something exactly like you had unless you got another Blazer. Get an RS with the 6-cylinder, but they're kind of hard to find now. The good news is they're going to continue with the Blazer in 2026, which they weren't going to for a while, but now they are. And they're going to, in 2027 model year, they're going to do a refresh. So I don't know if I can wait that long. I would hope that when they do a refresh, they would update the interior a little bit. Change those vents around. Give you a little bit better infotainment. Because mine's kind of small. And the newer ones aren't that much bigger. They're a little bit bigger. But they got to make it look a little more comparable to what their other models are. Like, for example, there's that bat sign. The Traverse and the Equinox have the new gear shift thing on the column, and they got a better infotainment screen and kind of like a double screen that goes wide across, and it's slanted towards the driver. I like that. I wish they would do that in the Blazer if they refresh it that way. But you know, can I wait another, I don't know, can I wait like another, what would that be, like almost a year and a half? Because the Blazer schedules for production are on the kind of like on the year-end basis, year beginning, year end. Hi. Whereas some of the other vehicles, like for example the Equinox, the 2026 models are already coming out. They've been out for at least a month. The Blazer doesn't sound like the 2026 models will be ready until like at least December, January 26th. So that would mean the 27 model isn't going to be for another year and a half. I can hear some people down there. I guess they're playing in the fishing and playing. Here's the pathway that can go down into there. If you're adventurous and don't care about getting Lyme disease with the ticks, go for it. So here we are at the Enlow Tunnel. Taking the first alternate videos of the day. And looking forward to it. Alright, so back there that goes towards the McLaren trailhead, McLaren Road. This is the Enlow Tunnel. How many times have I seen this? Never gets old. Never gets old. Like I always say, you can see up there, there's no face, there's almost no face left, the original face. There's no dates or anything visible. All that's worn away. Let's, this selfie. Let's get ourselves in the middle of this, baby. The tunnel is on my head. See, the tunnel's on my head. Okay. I love doing that. You know, let's walk through it. Ah, nice and cool. Whew. Damn, it's like air conditioning. Whew. There's some water dripping down. Let's get around this. There's that smiley face deal right there. There's this little dragon deal. Hi. Hi. Man, that lady that was running there, man, she was really huffing and puffing. I would never do that. First, I probably couldn't even do it if I tried. I'd be out of breath right away. I would never do it, though. I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in pain. I can hear people probably down there by the water. Alright, Enlow Tunnel, seen this. I can't remember how many. I'd have to go back and look at my videos and count how many times I've seen this. Probably at least 10 since I've been doing this trail walking in 2023. Whew, man, I am soaked. Yeah, dude, without using the handlebars. That's dumb. If you hit a rock a certain way, you go flying. You have no control then. So I'm hearing people down there in the water. There's people right down there. Let's look over here. Now we are at 1.5 miles, so I'm going to start heading back. That face is in better shape than the other side. Let me get a video of that. So there's the Enlow tunnel. And that face up there is in slightly better shape than the other side. Although there's no date indicators visible. They're all worn off. There's the tunnel. Now, that way goes down a cliff mine. And then this is back through the Enlow tunnel on the other side. Hey, we're on the other side. Now there's a bike coming, so I'll get out of the way. Cool. Enlow tunnel. Done. And get me some water. This area is under 24-hour video surveillance. And where would those cameras be? Man, it's nice and cool right here. Whew. It's a good tunnel, man. Love this tunnel. I like seeing stuff like this. So you see the surface is peeling away, and you see the concrete and the little stones in there and stuff. Cool. Then up above, you can see what's going on up there. That is ludicrous. I don't want to talk too loud because it sounds scary in this here tunnel. But man, that lady running like that, huffing and puffing, the agony. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. She wasn't having any fun at all. Boy, I am sweating pretty good right now. Getting cooled off in this tunnel. There's the the man in the box. There's the dragon. There's that smiley face. There's a lot of water coming down here. Let's move and check that. Do an alternate video with all that stuff coming down. All that, let's see that. Yeah, one day this is going to need to be resurfaced, refurbished. Let's see that crack, it goes there. It goes all the way down the wall, all the way up to there. And then there's that sediment calcification. Here's a part that I like right here. The surface is all coming away. Pieces are falling down. Something on this side. Okay. They built this up right here. I guess there's a lot of water coming down here. So they got that gully there now. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's good. I got cooled off. There's that pathway. I got a bunch of days coming up with good weather. Well, it's gonna be hot, but it's good for not raining, right? So I have to figure out which sections of the trail to go on. I visited most sections in 2025. There's a few little pieces that I haven't touched, but I probably never will. The way I think about it, I'm not gonna go down to Clareton again. I don't feel safe down there. First you gotta go down Route 51, large PA, and then you park in that giant parking lot, which is, you think that would be great, but then there's nobody there. She'd be like the only person parking in there. And then I was gonna say the clientele, the people in that neighborhood aren't that great as far as riffraff. So I don't want to get involved in that. Here comes these folks on bikes. Hi. Hi. It's a cool bike. It's like a bike with a little bike attached to it. The kid's on the little one, it's connected. I've never seen anything like that. Looks like a homemade deal. So where my attention has come all the way back from March till now, it's 3 months ago, is I'm thinking more about those Envisions again, Buick Envision. There's a couple of things I don't like about them. There's a lot that I do like about them. Hi. The thing about those Buicks is they all look the same now. I guess you could say that about the Chevy products. They all get the similar kind of front grills and stuff, but those Buicks all have that same shape. And then you stare at one, you're not sure which one you're looking at, you know? Like that Envision is great, but then it looks similar to the Encore, which looks similar to the Invista. Hi. Tell you what, if that Equinox had the same engine and some of the other features that the Envision has, I would be getting that right away. But the Equinox kind of looks okay, you know, it's got that nice truck shape, but it's got a piss poor engine. That's pretty important to me. I love having my power that I have available to me. It's so smooth, man. It's so smooth. It's so smooth and powerful. It's one of the best vehicles I've ever owned, my Blazer. The other thing that came close to that as far as power would have been that Cross Tour I had. I had a pretty powerful V6. I think the Blazer's way better than the Cross Tour. All the Envisions have all, you know, the cameras and all that stuff, 360 camera. All of that crap, I don't come standard on that, which is great. The other thing is, having that rental was small. It kind of reminded me when I had the my Encore back in 2015. I kind of like the handling of that. It's real small, you know, maneuverable, parkable. Hi. So I'm going to have to go look at some of those Envisions in person again and see if I can get with a program. McLaren Road. Huh. There's that sign down there for that ridge thing, but I wonder if it's going to be up there on that side of the road. Let's get a shot of this sign again. I parked at this McLaren trailhead one time back in 2023. Some car pull in here to their driveway. What a mess. Nice place, but that entrance is bad. All that runoff going down in there. Hi. Here's that old-timey fence. So they got one new beam on the top, and then the other ones are beat up. That one's really beat up. This one's pretty beat up. They're still nice though. I love those kind. There's the wah-wah. The girders and the wah-wah. That was too fast, sir. Crazy. So Village of Imperial. $6.19 James Tobin, that's over. Today's the 20th. There's those girders again down there. California Hollow. There's that old-timey fence. That needs a little bit of refurbishment. That one's been refurbished slightly. The guy still has that stuff up from Halloween. I think he keeps it up there all year. That giant skeleton over there. No need to take it down. Just keep it up. All right, it's California Hollow. What I used to like when I was a kid is that road down there. Back that way, and you turn left. That Enlow Road, I think it was called. I forget what it was called, but anyway, it used to go all the way out to the airport. We used to take that all the time. And there's one way you'd turn up and you'd go up towards where the runways are, go underneath the runways, and the other way you'd get down to that road that goes to Clinton, all the way at the end. We used to take that all the time. I loved that road. Now they got it blocked off. There's a trail connector that goes to the airport, like an airport connector to the Montour trail. But that road was a wonderful road. That's been closed off to the public since, I think it was even the late 70s they closed that off. Hi. Regarding this Middle East conflict that's going on for about a week now, that sucks, man. I think Israel screwed up Trump's plan to have a peaceful negotiation, so that's out the window now. Now it's almost like we have to help Israel. I mean, it sucks. We're getting sucked into that. Trump should stick to his guns and say, look, man, we're not getting involved in different wars again. I don't want wars. He's always talking about not wanting wars. So how the hell are we going to be helping that and not being in it? Hi. I'm gonna take a little break, get some Wawa. I am sweating to beat hell, babe. I don't know if Trump's like the way he is in his different business deals and stuff. He's always willing to take a route where he doesn't have to pay for anything. Let someone else pay for it. So the analogy would be, it's not our war, it's Israel's war. We're doing the bare minimum to help out. Maybe that can work. I don't know. Doesn't sound good. Just like Iraq. What happened in Iraq? It started out like it was going to be easy, but then it ended up being like a long, drawn-out thing, like Vietnam. I guess this is the plan all along. Israel wanted to do this, and they figured once Trump's in, Trump's backing them all the way, so just do something slightly to perturb Trump, and then you'll be on the outs, Israel. So I kind of hope that happens. I hope we get out of that. Now here's the damp part. It's nice and cool here. So the answer to this question, rhetorical question, would I like an Equinox compared to what I like an Envision? The Envision has more amenities, lots of standard stuff. You know, the cameras, the sunroof, the all-wheel drive and all that stuff. It's a lot of stuff standard. Whereas on the Equinox, you gotta like make sure you get the right option, you gotta like trim level, then you gotta make sure they got those options on for the camera and this and that and the other thing. Everything's an add-on. Then you always got to think about the engine.
Morning.
I mean, I've had a Buick, and I love those Buicks. I loved my Encore back then, 10 years ago. Now that I've got the Blazer, though, I don't really want to go backwards. So the Envision is better from that point of view than the Equinox, because it's staying with like a little more upscale, a lot of different amenities. The engine's not that great, but it's not that bad either. The Equinox has a really nice shape to it. Looks like a miniature Traverse. And I like that truck front, and the back is high. It looks like a nice truck shape. So it's a dilemma, man. Took a look at those Honda Passports again. That would be comparable engine to mine. Comparable transmission and engine. It's a lot bigger than mine though. And it'd be probably a pain in the butt to park. It's got a huge amount of room inside. There's really almost nothing out there that's comparable to my Blazer with the size, the two-row seating, the size of the vehicle, with the V6, and it looks cool. I guess you can get something upscale like a Lexus or something. Then you start getting into the premium fuel. I was like, what the hell, man? You can't find anything right in the middle, like. That's why those Envisions and the Buicks are pretty cool, because they're a little more upscale. I don't know, man, it's a big dilemma. I haven't driven any of those vehicles yet. I'm watching all kind of stuff online. I've heard some negatives about the Equinox. Whereas on the Envision, it sounds pretty upscale. Plus it's got, like, you know, audio system's great, all-wheel drive, cameras, blah, blah, blah. Comfortable driving, seat positions, all that. I've heard negatives on the Equinox's sound system is junk. The seating position, they say it's real high and you can't lower it enough, so it feels like you're sitting up too high. Which that might be okay, but I don't know. Basically, you got to drive one and figure out what do you like, and is the engine going to be good enough for you? I'm sure it would be after you got used to it. If I was getting used to those damn rentals, their engines were crap, no power at all. But I got used to it, driving that for like 6 weeks. It's kind of like when I had the Encore. That had like absolutely no power. And I knew, you know your limitations. Like, you know you're not going to pull out on something, you know. You just got to... The classic quote, know your limitations and work well within them. Alright, so here's one of those old-timey fences. It's got a new beam in the middle. I remember that one time I read a article on Paul McCartney, and it was worded like that. It said, he knows his limitations and works well within them. I thought that was, the review wasn't that great, but I mean, I don't really agree with that statement, but I guess it's true. You could probably say that about a lot of people. So there's a path that goes down to that parking lot. There's a path over here that goes down to that neighborhood. There's a little footbridge over there. And I think the vehicle to avoid is the Traverse, because it's got a lot of horsepower, but it's a 2.5, I think it's 2.5 or 2.6 liter 4-cylinder. It sounds like really noisy and raspy and crappy. Alright, so let's walk through this little activity center section to throw this garbage out. Look at this guy parking on this sidewalk here. What the hell, man? What the hell is this? Some kind of entitled jaguar parking here. It's a fucking walkway. Thomas Little Funeral Home. So there's the Blazer. Looks good. Man, it looks good. Alright, let's open this up. Alright, signing off at the Imperial Activity Center. Bye-bye.